1887 Liberty Head nickel. Over 15 million coins made this year, all in Philadelphia. Definitely not one of the rarest dates of the 1880s, but in terms of the whole series, this one probably ranks in the top 1/3 of tough dates to find in terms of quality and striking sharpness, originality, some of those factors that I look for. This particular example has some peripheral toning, and you see it's definitely not a bright coin. It's definitely got a lot of good luster, but very original. You know, the blast white look of a dipped coin. This one just doesn't show that at all, so I love that about it. Main State 64. There are also very few spots on it. PCGS estimates about 1,300 mint state coins exist, and that's kind of an estimate of based on graded population across the major services, and then you know, with an adder for raw coins out there. This particular coin cost about $500. It is a pretty expensive date to get in Mint State 64. You can probably find it more in the range of $200 to $350 if you're getting in the 62 to 63 range. But you know, my advice on this one, even though there are a lot of Mint State coins out there, you know, maybe 1 out of every 10 or 1 out of every 15 have a good strike with some of these other aspects like luster and originality. So I think worth cherry picking, and there's just not a lot of people out there looking for those things in this series, so you can end up finding a pretty rare coin, even though there's a lot in this population grade. You can kind of cherry pick the better ones in that grade. You know, each star is really detailed on this coin. I like the peripheral toning. A lot of the other coins in my series have more of a golden kind of look to them. But I just like this coin in hand, and I felt it was worth paying a little bit of a premium for. There are a few, if you're buying raw or looking at this date raw, there's a few double dies to keep an eye out for. There's a reverse double die here. You see in the OF of United States of America, and then pluribus unum. There's some doubling you can find if you're, you know, out at a dealer and they have some raw examples. Might be worth looking at them under a magnifying glass. I think the 87 DDR does go for a decent premium, but you know, my advice on this date is to really just be patient. There's the minority of coins will fit your you know, if you have some standards for striking and originality, you know, there's just going to be very few that meet those standards, but they're definitely out there, and you can find a very nice example. You know, if you can find one too in the Mint State 62 or 3 range that meets those criteria, that's a great place to be. You're going to pay a very competitive price for, and that would be a nice coin to add to the collection. You know, at this point in the country, you know, Grover Cleveland was in his first term, and the country kind of was going through a period of, you know, organized labor and large corporations. The regulatory environment was increasing, and we were kind of just coming to grips with this as a country and how to deal with big business, which really hadn't, you know, existed for very long before. The railroads were beginning to be regulated and things like that. Grover Cleveland was a very conservative president. He would later win another term in the early 1890s, but so far the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. And anyway, so yeah, this date is a fun one to go after. There's enough out there, but it's you know, definitely one worth cherry picking and being patient on. But yeah, really fun date and really satisfying to find a nice example for your collection.